Well done, Mr. Pete, for that stupendous intro.
Licensed, what do you call it when you sort of with a license to change?
To thrill.
License
Poetic license.
Poetic license, that's what I'm looking for. Welcome back.
So yes, welcome back to Andertons TV. I think we're actually a little bit late to the last train home party. We missed that last
back
train
carriage.
home.
We've been running after the train there and then jumping on.
A few days ago, John Mayer released a new tune. Kind of like we'd all had a little bit of a glimpse of what it was going to be, and Mary did her kind of take on it, which was kind of incredibly close to the final version in the end. So fair play, Mary, that was pretty genius.
And a great idea.
And loads of people have kind of done tuition videos around the
I didn't see any of that stuff come out. I didn't see.
But Pete and I had this idea of just like, as soon as you hear Last Train Home, you are instantly transported back to the sort of late 80s Clapton kind of vibe, where all that sort of guitar tones had a sort of a modulation effect on it, which kind of went a bit out of fashion really sort of after that. And I'm loving the fact that John Mayer is bringing it back.
Sob Rock, baby.
Yeah. So we thought we'd have a go at trying to set up like a sound of like, how do we get that sound? And all we had to go on was, this was up until yesterday when we did our first attempt at this, was the official video. So you can see the Soldano in the background, you can see the Dumble in the background. Yeah. You don't see any pedals, you just hear it.
Yeah. And then a two-toned leather jacket, like the one
and a pink Silver Sky.
As Mick Taylor pointed out, that actually David Hasselhoff was wearing exactly the same. So, John, you need a white Lamborghini.
He's probably got two. So we're going, okay, is that the sound? You know, did he actually have a Soldano and a Dumble in the studio? Is that we recorded? Certainly Clapton of that era was well known for using Soldanos.
Yeah.
And we were playing around yesterday, and I don't have the pedal now, but we had a couple of gain pedals, like we were using the Revival Drive Hot Rod by Origin Effects into a 2-amp setup. So 1 amp, we're using our 2 trusty Victory amps, V140 and DP40 either side here. Yeah. But we were using one completely clean, one with the hot rod pedal on it to give it a Soldano-y sound, and we were messing around to go, can we get close? And I thought we got pretty close, but you were like...
I wasn't sure at all. And then this morning...
Last night
I sat and faffled about because we were trying to do a loop here to kind of play along to so you can hear the solo, and I just thought, I'll just do this backing track. I'll sit down and just try to copy the track that is done. So that's something I've done here. So that's all from Logic and Superior Drummer, playing the bass and keyboards and everything, which I had to do with one thing at a time to work out. But anyway, whatever. So this morning I saw, actually it was probably last night in America, but whatever. So Jimmy Kimmel. He goes
Monday night on Jimmy Kimmel.
That's it.
The band do the single live. Yeah. And obviously then we get to see actually there are no Soldanos on stage. There's a Dumble, there's a Fender, I think there's a 2-Rock.
Yeah, it looks like
you can see his pedal board. Actually, the Victory amps were on stage actually, but Isaiah Sharkey was using those. There is a pedal board, but there's no camera angle that gives you a real kind of view.
And you look at Instagram this morning and everybody's going, this is Johnny shot I can get. What is it?
So, I have it on good authority, without revealing any secrets, that there was indeed a chorus pedal used in this sound. Mm-hmm. So we were obviously close, but we came in this morning and we rejigged this and we went, we need one of these amps to sound a bit more dumbly.
Yeah.
So we've got the Gladio preamp here, by Cornerstone. And we're just using channel 1, and we're just using it to sort of fatten the sound. Yeah. Not a lot of drive coming on. Actually, I should really... anyway, we really wanted a TS10, a TS10 tube screamer, because we're pretty sure... But again, John, please comment below if that's not what you're using.
It looked like it was that, but he always has that.
Yes. So we're using the JHS Bonsai in its TS10 mode to give that, and that's running through the other amp. So if I remember right, the V140 has got the TS10 side, and the DP40's got the Gladio side. Yep. We're running the Aquapus delay, the mini delay, like the Mark III analog delay, very, very subtly, again, just on the the V140 side.
Yeah, reverb from the amps.
Yes. And then we were messing around of, does the chorus just go in one side so the other side stays dry, or does the chorus go in front of everything so both sides are modulated? And this is where we ended up with. So let's give ourselves a sort of a dry, what is the sound with nothing switched on?
And we just to check, is that running into both amps, but in the front of the overdrives? Is that what we're doing?
Yes, so the guitar signal
that could be wrong too, couldn't it?
It could be, yeah. So guitar goes into a wah-wah pedal on the floor,
which we get to.
Actually might move a bit more Eric Clapton than John Mayer in terms of tone, but we'll show you what that sounds like. Into a chorus pedal. This here is an old Japanese CE2 pedal who I may or may not have it on good authority from someone who may know more than anybody about what pedals were likely to be on the floor, that this is the pedal that was used on that single. This then goes into a Layla P-split, which is a passive splitter box, basically. One side, he does indeed. One side goes into the Gladio and into the DP40. The other side goes into the JHS Bonsai, then into the Aquapus, then into the V140. I have some other pedals on the table here because you can't buy the CE2 anymore. Closest you can buy is the Wazacraft CE2W.
And when you buy one of these, you have to buy this jumper. And I just point out that they were...
Or this jumper.
Yeah.
We've got a Dimension C to see what that does. We've got a super affordable chorus pedal here to see if that kind of cuts the mustard. And over here, we've got a TS-808 Tube Screamer, which obviously is, similar to a TS-10. And we've got a clone by Seriatone, which is Pete's custom finished purple one.
Which then goes with this, of course.
Because, more purple.
Better tones. Pink is good.
There we are. Pete, would you please play one of the licks from that solo with no pedals?
With nothing's on. It's just very clean, isn't it?
Position 4, which we now know from watching him live on Jimmy Kimmel. Jimmy Kimmel. God,
it's like, hey, come here, Kimmel.
is what is the setting?
Yeah, that's again. I think there's some play. I've had the tone controls a little bit back off.
So let's just now do the two basic drive circuits. So we're going to try and use the Gladio to get a bit more of a Dumbly vibe, and the TS10 to just drive this side.
Quite a high gain on the TS10 setting.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
really
I had
to
because I've tried this earlier and I had to.
Okay.
Kind of, so.
Oh,
it's good. It's good.
It's
and
not
it was
good.
funny.
It's great.
But yes, because yesterday when we had the hot rod, the Origin Effects compact hot rod, it was just too much gain, and I kept listening back to that, going, "It's too much gain. It's too much gain." And it was like, "But just use the TS10." So that was always uses.
That was the sort of the. It was just as well that he was on, playing live last night. Otherwise, I think we'd have persevered with the Soldano tone, and I'm not sure how close we'd have got. That
you don't
said,
have a Soldano.
I don't know. He may well have used the Soldano in the recording. I don't know. So,
then you can comment below.
Yeah, Aquapus is a great, and I'm pretty sure he's used this, maybe the bigger version of this on previous boards, but it's a tiny, tiny bit of delay just on one side. So.
You hear this? I love those licks, but there's a lot of bending. It hurts the fingers. That's the compressed setting on the Gladio gives it that kind of it just makes it more, it gives it more sustain.
But of course, what we haven't yet added is the magic ingredient that transports us from a sort of a timeless classic blues sound into that late 80s Sob Rock-tastic tone, and that's by adding this.
take it off. It's so subtle, but it just does something to the sound, doesn't it? It just...
It's just classic. Now,
classic.
The reason I'm sitting with this guitar on my lap is just for some fun, because this is a Strat, which I don't use terribly often. Most of you have probably seen the Squire Strat that I've got with the Clapton mid-boost circuit in it. This is an American Strat that I also own that also has the Clapton mid-boost circuit in it. And even yesterday we were going, I know he's a PRS endorser and everything like that, but if you really wanted to go Clapton, maybe he used a guitar like this.
Maybe put it in the pink. Maybe put that in the pink.
And actually, I think you should. It actually doesn't really do the sound, but let's. So we tried this guitar. Here's some licks. I think we fairly quickly went. It's this rig and that guitar that wasn't really certainly wasn't sounding like the John Mayer sound, and it actually wasn't sounding terribly like I think we need different amps for the Clapton thing. But check it out. I mean, here's basically the same sound
with the boost off at the moment. So I'll just do there's an, and now I'm adding in the boost. So that. It's a much more saturated sort of
with
sound.
With a bit of wah.
I put the wah on, but finding that perfectly cocked position. But it's only on one side. The wah's only on the one amp, so it mixes it in nicely. But
so we're going to go back. So I think yes, we can safely say that we don't believe that John used an Eric Clapton modded Strat.
But only John can tell us.
Yes.
John.
So I don't know how if you guys now what I did want to try and do though is just find that cocked wah position, and we'll see if we can either use so with and without. So without, here's how we think we got pretty close.
And then dialing back the tone a little bit on this guitar. Much less output in these pickups, of course. And then you find the cock wah position, which is easier for you to hear because it's on your side.
Yeah, sorry, man.
A bit less. Bit more. Mind you, it is a rosewood board on his guitar. I don't know.
A lot of his licks as well, he doesn't hold that sustain and vibrato on. It's like, it's do.
Yeah, there is. But he does the... He's got this whole massive hand. He's got a massive hand. It makes me look small. I can't work. Is that
so here? Turn the wire off completely now?
But he bends that so effortless. I love it.
So, sorry, mate. That's kind of what we think
I'm getting into
is
bending.
So I kind of thought, right, first and foremost, let's just try couple of other chorus pedals to see whether or not if you can't find an old CE2 on eBay. They're quite expensive now, CE2s on eBay as well. What can you go and buy to put in front of your rig? Loads of guitar players, I think, kind of chorus definitely
it gets poo-pooed a little bit, doesn't it?
Yeah, and I think it sort of becomes synonymous with almost like, if you're like, I don't know, you're in The Cure, or you want to do like a Robert Smith kind of jangly indie kind of thing, that's where chorus belongs. It doesn't belong in the blues, but it's like, it kind of,
it doesn't really.
You're probably right, okay.
It doesn't really, but, back in the 80s, we had big rack cabinets of things, and, that was just a tone.
Well, excuse me while I... Angel Wing.
Angle Wing.
Let's start. What you had actually the pedal pretty subtly set on the CE2.
So here we go. I don't think there's much. Okay. Here we go.
That sounds good.
It sounds good. I mean, if you want, we did a shootout on
noisy.
chorus pedals.
Listen.
If you want to watch that, you go up there and click on the pop-up banner, you can see our chorus shoot out.
That was pretty noisy, man, because we've got so much gain coming from these pedals, so even a tiny amount of noise from a pedal gets sort of, accentuated.
And it's running into those pedals as well, so that noise will be accentuated from the drive.
Yeah, so keep playing, because and then I'll just try another couple of pedals.
I mean,
that sounds nailed on. Okay, so that's 40 quid or 45 quid or something like that. Let's jump up a little bit in price now. So these are these are over £100, aren't they? The Wazza Chorus.
My favourite.
This should be the kind of closest modern equivalent chorus to that one.
Yeah.
So here we go.
Yeah. Setting
quite different sounding. I've got it on C1 mode. Too much, right? Standard.
Oh man,
it sounds a bit brighter than
it sounds a bit brighter.
Let me go back to this one. Right, back in the room. I thought actually it's more sensible. I'm going to leave the actual CE2 that we're pretty sure he did actually use on that recording in the chain and just toggle between that. And so I've got CE2W on its standard CE2 mode. Settings about the same. And so here's the CE2. I don't know, does it sound the same? Or is it just me being like,
I think it's you.
I think the original one sounds fatter, but that might just be... That might just be me being stuck in a time warp of liking old things. Funnily enough, I don't know, it sounds really knobby. I'm going to go back. I actually thought the Angel Wing sounded closer.
Right,
Right, let's just put this on sort of similar settings.
Uh-huh.
Okay, original.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Oh yeah,
I'm just saying. I actually
it was
think,
close in the shootout, wasn't it?
Closer.
I don't.
Hey ho. Now, if you are another Instagram follower of Tomo
Fujita,
who is John Mayer's or was John Mayer's tutor at Berkeley. Berkeley is Berkeley, isn't it?
Yeah.
He posted on Instagram that all you need to get this tone is a Klon, a Dimension C, and a pink Squire Strat. Yeah. I'm not entirely sure that. I mean, I'm sure Tomo can get a good sound of it like that. But
he got amazing sound out of it.
So here is the Dimension C in its SDD 320 mode versus the. So here's the original.
I mean, there's two things to be said here. There's two things to be said. The Dimension D was a rack unit that was massive in the 80s, but there was also another unit, the Eventide, what's it called? Where it had some, we talked about it yesterday with the Mimic.
Like double tracking,
where it kind of switches the signal a little bit, but it's still got a bit of chorus on it. But anyway, so, I mean...
We tried that, didn't we? Little Mimic here, and the only reason we tried this yesterday is it's a double tracker, and Andertons have got it on some sort of half-price bonanza deal for 29 quid, and we thought, oh, well, if that gets us a bit John Mayer sounding, that's where we go. But it didn't really. I think double tracking out of this pedal, I think, is more a genty kind of thing.
So they're both. It's both a really 80s sound, but it could come from loads of things, you know.
I don't know what you guys thought or what you thought, but honestly and truthfully, I thought the Angel Wing and the Dimension C sounded closer to the CE2 than the CE2W, which is kind of weird, at least in this setup.
But it's
what else?
Well, we can try a million things, and then we can be here all day long, Lee.
Do you want to plug a Klon in and just see what that does?
Well, you could do the Dimension C and the Klon and nothing else.
That's how we're going to end this. That is how we're going to end this.
Because that's what Tomo said.
So we're just going to go into both amps clean, but Dimension C into the Klon, into both amps, see what happens. That we're going to play out. You can find links to all these pedals, obviously except for the CE2, in the description below. What can I say other than, I think officially now we are on the Last Train Home bandwagon.
Last carriage.
I'm sure we'll have used a picture of John Mayer in the thumbnail just to lure you in. Thank you, John. Hope you don't mind. But honestly, if for some weird reason you're going, John, who? Yes, if you're a fan of guitar music, you must go and check his music out. He is absolutely one of my favourite, or our favourite guitar players of all time.
Yeah.
And a very nice chap too.
Yes.
Right.
Thank you. Like and subscribe.
Please.
As well.
Yes.
Say that.
Thank you very much. See you guys later.